one in society, and it should benefit society in different ways. So what we thought in that project, maybe you've seen it here at Chalmers, you see these autonomous buses moving around the campus area, and I think it's in collaboration with RISE. We asked a fundamental question. So is public transportation of the future really for everyone? So we started to collaborate with small children with cognitive disabilities to see how they experience going on these buses. And they love it. So we have ethical approval for it. So we have been video recording these children going around the city center. And then we have even had design workshops with the kids and their parents. So it's been wonderful.
Great, thank you. Yeah, Daniel, would you like to say a couple words about some of the projects at Chair? I think it would be interesting to, because maybe there's some people here who'd like to explore that further.
Yeah, absolutely. So within Chair, we're running a number of research projects and so on. We're financing some researchers and research, but we're also running something called research themes, which is broader engagements, basically. Let's try to build something world-class at Chalmers. A few of these things that are running now are really in the intersection of the knowledge that we have at Chalmers with AI, such as AI for scientific analysis, which brings together researchers for example, astronomy, from spectroscopy, chemistry, etc., to try to build the common set of tools and methods from AI that they all need in scientific research, because scientific research is quickly moving towards the utilization of AI. So this is super exciting. We're working with, for example, a theme around structured learning. So we're talking about large language models and stuff like that right now, right? And it's fantastic what they can accomplish, but a lot of their knowledge is not really grounded in common sense and actual real world understanding about a real world model, so to speak. So how can we integrate those things into this kind of machine learning models? Things like, basic chemistry, basic physics, all of these things, so that we can learn more robust models, that we can learn models that generalize better and use a little bit less data. So some of these things are some of the things that we're talking about right now. And talking about this type of generative AI, we're looking forward to, in the autumn as well, starting to work towards this kind of theme. Knowledge in large language models. So look out for that. And here we're also going to collaborate a bit with the, so let me put quickly on my other hat here then. So at AI Sweden, we have developed one of the largest language models that there are, actually, built for Swedish and Nordic languages. And I really do believe that actually working with and building these things in a transparent way is a super important part of the future, because as you said, is transport for everyone? Well, are these models for everyone? Are they for every researcher? Are they for every student? How can we actually have access to them? So actually building transparent models, this is where we got the data, this is how we trained it, and you can have the full model. You can build on it, you can test it, you can bang on it and see what it can actually do. And these are the things, some of the things that we want to develop for the future.
Wonderful. I don't know if you have anything to add there in terms of some interesting projects that you're working on. Yeah.
Okay, I guess my research interest is really about like promoting the positive use of technology in changing people's life. But that's why everything you are presenting today is actually all, make the world a better place. That's all we about, right? And I actually, during the break, I actually also walking around the corridor to see the project, the way this university deliver the knowledge. I just feel you are so lucky to study at such an innovative university. Like the thing you are learning is really about cutting edge. And they teach you not only the theory, the basic, and also how to apply. That's all you need to have. So I just want to add one more thing about the AI, about all those things. That seems like such a hot word. Everyone wants to study AI, but I think that's essential. But you as a student, if you have to consider your future interests, your career path, what you're really passionate about. And also you learn the technology at the same time. You also need to learn something else, because you see the technology AI is always interdisciplinary. So you don't have to say, oh, I only study AI. That's all I can do. No, if you study AI, you also study cost industry something, you'll be much better than the other people who only has one set of knowledge. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That was a very nice segue, because I always like to give some final words to the students here in terms of how they should think about their future, what skills are they should be thinking about of building, their competences, just to inspire them a little bit as they leave the room. So yeah, why don't we start with Daniel and then we'll go to Mika.
Well, first of all, and I know that you all are, otherwise you wouldn't be at Chalmers, but basically just stay curious, use the new tools, get a feeling for what they can do. I mean, they're a little bit stupid, the tools, but you need, using them in the right way, you can actually build fantastic things, basically. So be curious, start using them, adapt to them, and in 10 years, 20 years, they will also more or less adapt to us. So let's see how that goes.
So I'm thinking maybe to connect this panel to all your projects. I mean, the course has the title Leading in a Digital World. And I think it's so important never to lose contact with technology. If I quote Steve Jobs, he said, it's not what it looks like, it's how it works. And I think that when it comes to AI, and as you said, it all depends on what kind of data we have. Well, you have been through this frustrating process of figuring out what kind of data do we need, but then how do we build a sensor to capture that data? And then, of course, the next step maybe would be to build a model where you can start to use the data you collect to train a model and then build digital services on top of that. And that's about sort of understanding technology from within. And I think that's very important.
I just want to add a final word, like about how to do the things. I guess, you all know how to build those sensor things. I guess even more important question you have to always ask yourself, why you do that? What's the benefit people can get, a society can get? But that's actually not only about technology. So you just use the technology in the right way and make yourself even more smarter and always learn some other fundamental skills. As a developer all around, that's so important for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent. Do we have a question from anyone here? Anybody? Yes, here, I give you the microphone.
When will the built for Swedish language model be available to us?
It already is. If you apply for it, you can, I think it should be perhaps on Chalmers web pages and perhaps on AI Sweden's web pages, but there is a form that you can fill in basically to get access to it. If you have the compute power to run these larger models, absolutely no problem. And there are lots of smaller models as well. They're not as good, but they're pretty decent that you can actually use.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yep. What's the most interesting use case of AI you've seen? Like what's the coolest way you've seen somebody use AI?
I wouldn't point at one application, but I think that it's the speed of deployment, which is very interesting now. So I'm also editor of a journal where we received a paper in 2018, which we're talking about the third wave of AI and how we would see large deployment all across society. And in the editorial board, we said, well, come on, we've been through 2 AI winters. This is unlikely to happen. And then we can just look around and it's everywhere. And I think that's what's interesting. And I think that innovations spark other innovations. So you see something over here, you think, oh, I can do probably the same thing, but over here. And I think that's the collective movement. I think that's the most interesting thing right now.
I just want to add forward thinking. That's actually a very important skill you have to master. Okay, always forward thinking and think about the future. Okay, don't stick around what we can do now. Think about what we need to do in the future.
Great, thank you. Any final words?
Now you were talking about applications again. I think I have a sort of difficulty living in the past. I think about the future, and the coolest things that we can see coming up, perhaps in drug discovery, production, all of these things that are going to radically change within 5 years, basically. I'm really, really looking forward to what we can do there.
Great. And who's going to do it? You are, right? You're the ones doing it. So awesome. So let's give a big hand for our panel. Thank you so much. I thought it would be nice for you to have the opportunity to have some AI experts here to ask those questions. So, okay, well, that's it. There were some final words from Petter. He's going to say a couple things, I believe. Yes.
Okej, bara helt praktiskt så skulle jag vilja ha er hjälp att plocka i ordning här inne. Så att vi staplar alla stolar, typ 10 på varann. Vi kan ta och fälla ihop borden och stapla dem i en hög. Eller ja, i 3 högar, vad som känns bra. Vi kan samla ihop de posters som ni inte vill ha till återvinning, bara samla allting tillsammans. Okej, inga posters.
Ha dem, ge dem till mig, för jag vill gärna ha dem.
Precis, lägg posters till Robin. Ni som har använt något material här, så är det ett bra tillfälle att skicka det här mejlet med vad ni har använt och vad det kostar. Elektronikkomponenter till exempel. Det var väl egentligen det.
Jag tror vi ska, let's give a big round of applause for Petter här and all his hard work. And I'm not sure where Linda and Frederick are, but I think they also deserve a big hand, and Ola from the Revere lab. Yes. And of course to Patrick for sponsoring this. So thank you so much. Okay. And Torsten somewhere, there he is over there. Woo! Okay. So thank you so much to you. Again, it's a real pleasure. It's been amazing. So continue the hard work. Look for those challenges, follow your passion, and you know where I am. You're welcome to reach out if you have any questions about career or otherwise. I'm now part of your network. So I look forward to keeping in touch. Thank you all.